Welcome to WebEOC training. Let's get started.
Your login name is your email address. I'm first going to log in using a user level account so I can show you certain things. We just enabled single sign-on here for county employees. So if you are a county employee, I can just click next and not have a password needed. Authentication happens here within our firewall. So the first thing you're going to be met with is our terms and conditions. What we expect you to do, how we expect you to use the platform, and more importantly, what you may not do, things that make our legal folks happy. Once you accept these terms and conditions, you're going to go to the login page. You're going to select a position and an incident. WebEOC is going to be different than a lot of platforms that you currently use. Once you are logged into this system, you are no longer a person, you are a position. Your rights are granted by position, which means that there are tools and resources that will be available to you that are going to allow you to fulfill your mission. As well, we can not bother you with things that are totally irrelevant to you, so you don't have to go sorting through a whole lot of things that are just troublesome. Okay? Most of you will only have one position. But as for any of you who have responded to incidents before, understand once it starts to unfold, they escalate. As you escalate, you're often asked to wear more than one hat, which means you might need to be assigned a different position to fulfill whatever else is asked of you. Make sure you choose the right position for what you need to do, because you will not have the same rights between one and the other. Also, you'll see other things in this version that we're able to customize now, and it's based again on that position and what resources you need. The next thing you're going to see is an incident box. Okay? Certain WebEOC boards are incident specific, which means that any information you see on that one board is strictly related to that event. Others are more general, so no matter what you see on those, the information just is relevant no matter what it is you're doing. So, and you'll see examples of both as we go along. You make sure that you are in the right incident. I will have the current, whatever we want you to use currently, set as default. But if you are in here practicing on your own, and I would encourage you to do so, you don't want to be looking at this the first time when we're sitting in here responding to a cat 4 pounding down on us. You're not going to be saying, what did she tell me in training 3 months ago? No. Practice in between. Use a training incident. Practice entering records, and I'll let you know which board you can do that on. You can do that on the incident-dependent boards. Make sure you're not in an actual event. As the official repository, this is data that's in this system is what FEMA will use when they're auditing the event afterward to determine what's reimbursable, what was justifiable, and things of that nature. So when you're practicing and you want to do something whimsical on a resource request and maybe get a margarita machine and a pitcher of peach flavoring, make sure you're in training. You do not want FEMA 4 years from now, when they're actually doing an audit, coming to you and asking you why that was necessary for a response to Hurricane Ian. So we're going to use this Nexus training. That's what I have set as the default. So typically the default's going to be safe, but make sure. The next screen you're going to see is going to request additional login information. It's pulled this from either a prior login or the information from when you initially logged into the system from your user account. It's got your name, your location, and a phone number. The location and the phone number need to be where you are at the present time. Okay? If we are here activated, we want to know who's on the EOC floor representing a particular agency. If somebody put in a resource request that we have a question about, we're going to look through those positions and try to find you to ask that question. We need to know where you are. And the same with the phone number. Make it a cell number rather than your office phone. If your building just got leveled with that Cat 4, you're not going to get any calls we try to place. Okay, then we're going to continue to be greeted with your whole new WebEOC. What you see may not be the same as what the person next to you has on their screen. I now have the ability to customize these home pages by positions, and we have a handful of them that I do have customized. The new home page has tiles that give you quick access to those boards that you are going to use most often to fulfill your mission. And that's going to change based on your position and your role. What I have here is the default home page. Those are the boards that we're going to use most often during an activation if you're here on the EOC floor. If you're in a municipality, we have a help guide now that takes you directly to Javari's documentation. It's not going to be our specific board use, but it's the vendors. So there's going to be a lot of good help tips in there that are just a general program versus our customized system. This little bell is your inbox. We have certain boards that have configured notifications in the background that they'll trigger email alerts. We can do text messages, voicemails based on certain conditions that may arise. And you'll find your copy of some of them, the PDF to them right there. That's my admin thing. And now your user profile has moved over to this corner. You've got your initials, your position, and your incident. You can enlarge that, change your position and incident here. If you realize you're taking off one hat and putting on another, or that you're in a real world incident and not a training. Or you can click this link for other Javari solutions, and it takes you back to that initial page where you had the tiles to pick between our WebEOC, the Ideas portal, or any other one that you may have rights to. So I showed you that the navigation pane expands and collapses. A little red dot up there is an alert that something has been added or changed on a board since you were last in there. We'll click on it to expand it again. Hover over any of the icons, and there you've got the names of what that menu has. Your boards, any boards you might need that are not pinned to that home page are going to appear here. So you'll have access to everything whether or not it's pinned to your home page. Should you have a position that grants you additional rights to a board, you will see another tile that tells you those rights. What happens is, okay, I'm not seeing it with this. Okay. I have more than one position assigned to each homepage. You don't all have the same rights level, so it's assigned with that lowest level of rights. If you are in a position that needs additional rights to create records, edit records, you'll see a separate banner for that, and then there'll be a dash followed by okay, I got here admin. That's, you have admin rights, or login -admin. So you would need, if you had to do something, you'd have to log in that way. We have maps. You all have the common operating picture. Some of you might see some of our radiological maps depending on your position. put in the search bar the name of a location. So let's say Mariners Hospital. Click on search, and it'll take you right to that location. You can annotate a board, draw your little polygons, notes, tags, your own pins. And you can view it using any base map you want. If you want a night view, hybrid imagery, it gives you that topography where you can actually look and see, oh, okay, there's a little cut there. Maybe I can get a small boat through or there, whatever you need to do. Navigation. Okay, we have links to all of our municipalities, our agency partners. Quick link to any of their websites. As with boards and links with boards, if you click, you can launch the board by clicking on the banner, or you can launch them in a separate window with this little arrow in the corner here. Links are all open will all open in a separate window, so you're going to click that arrow. Clicking the banner is not going to do much, but it'll open in a separate window for you. And we also have plugins available too. Those of you that have worked on other versions of WebEOC might remember when you're trying to search for something, your search was restricted to only the data that appeared there in a one list view of any particular board. This is a global search. It will search out any information stored in the entire database. So number one, that means refine your criteria, because otherwise you're going to get more results than you can really process. But secondly, it allows you to kind of tailor down what it is you're looking for. If you're going to enter a resource request, has anybody else entered that request yet? If so, you put in the name of the item, a date range. At that point, you would know an incident. You can filter it down like that, so you'll just be able to see whether it's already in the system or if you need to go ahead and add it. And you can find out any of the details on that particular request.